And I respect and love the accountability in that. But there's something with men where the right or the wrong woman can make or break you.
For sure.
Oh, 1,000%.
And as my little brother, like I said, I hadn't even met her yet. But from the conversations that we were having pertaining to her, I was like, oh, she's going to make him. Like, you have been successful. You have been successful. And I knew you would get it back. But it's about maintaining that. It's about making that a lifestyle.
Yep.
It's about somebody creating a home for you.
Hi ladies, today's chapter of Adventist Home is The Great Decision. So let's read our first quote. If those who are contemplating marriage would not have miserable, unhappy reflections after marriage, they must make it a subject of serious, earnest reflection now. This step taken unwisely is one of the most effective means of ruining the usefulness of young men and women. Life becomes a burden, a curse. No one can do effectually ruin a woman's happiness and usefulness and make life a heart-sickening burden as her own husband. And no one can do 100th part as much to chill the hopes and aspirations of a man, to paralyze his energies and ruin his influence and prospects as his own wife. It is from the marriage hour that many men and women date their success or failure in this life and their hopes of a future life. Now, ladies, come on now. Just type something I just remembered. Isn't that deep, that quote? Yes, it is. And I can relate to it somewhat. And so can my husband. I said to my husband, where is it? Yeah, I'll say it now. I said to my husband, are you all right if I say this? He said, yeah. I said, are you sure? He said, yes, because it's real. Both myself and my husband have had thoughts of, do you know what? If only I could get divorced, you know. I'm finished with this marriage. We've had thoughts even as far as, do you know what? Life would be easier if you weren't in it. Life would be easier if you weren't in it, if you know what I mean. You know, maybe if you were dead, life would be easier. I know. Someone's going to say, oh, Charlotte, how could you say that? But you know what? A lot of married folk have said that as well. And a lot of married people haven't thought that, and that's a beautiful thing. But a lot of married people have had those thoughts. Come on now, let's keep it real. And don't ask your spouse this afterwards, you know. As my husband always says, ask a question that you want the answer to. And the reason why you feel this way is because in marriage, if you feel like you're not being listened to, you can feel very alone. It's a very lonely and frustrating feeling. And then this leads to the things of life being a heart-sickening burden. No one can do 100th part. Again, you know, women talk a lot sometimes about the abuse. Let me just speak to this really quick. No 100th part as much to chill the hopes and aspirations of a man, to paralyze his energies. Women talk a lot about the abuse of men to women, and rightly so, because it's wrong. We should speak against it, but we have to have the same energy with things like emotional abuse, what women are more guilty of, where like our words are like punches. We don't realize, because a lot of people will think, well, I'm not hitting you, but a lot of us don't realize what your words can do, how it can cut a man up if you really want to. Like, there's been times when I've said certain things to my husband and I have to be like, oh man, yeah, I was going in a bit too much there. So I'm telling you, if you continue to not listen to your spouse, put them down, make them feel small, what else is there? You don't support their dreams. Obviously, within reason, I understand that certain dreams, if they want to drain your bank account for something that you think doesn't make sense or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe it does make sense. Maybe God told them. I don't know. Whatever it is. But when you continue to do these things, these are the things that gnaw away at marriage and make people feel like, do you know what? Life will be easier without you in it. And I thank God, because in our marriage, we're at a point today where we sincerely love each other and we sincerely like each other. And if we have a disagreement, we can at some point come to a resolution. We can at least talk. We know that we have the space and the freedom to say, this is exactly how I feel. And also, we still have to recognize where, do you know what? Yes, I have the freedom to say how I feel, but I still took the mick there. I still didn't have to say it like that. Yeah? So I'm telling you, marriage, but the way how she describes it, isn't it? Whew. But how many people can unfortunately relate? Marriage, in a majority of cases, is a most galling yoke. There are thousands that are mated but not matched. The books of heaven are burdened with the woes, the wickedness, and the abuse that lie hidden under the marriage mantle. So isn't that amazing where you see there thousands that are mated but not matched? That makes me think of shows like, you know, Love Island. I never really got into that one. I more got into like Married at First Sight, and I've seen Love is Blind. But when you look at all these dating shows, you know, the experts, aka the producers, the experts say, all right, you know, let's put these two together because based upon these reasons, they should be a good fit. But then what happens is, most of the time, they get married, they live together, and they realize, wow, because a lot of times, especially when you hear society, we love to talk about chemistry and romance and all these things. And in the day-to-day living of marriage, it's not always about romance and chemistry and fuzzy feelings. Love is a principle based upon, wow, this person's really irritating my soul right now, but you know what? Food, happy, cook. Yeah, I still have to cook food. I still have to do that. I still have to do this. I might annoy King today, but guess what? He still has to sit at his desk and work and earn money. Do you see what I'm saying? So in spite of these things, we still have to get on with it. This is the higher principle that God is calling us to, that even when you don't even feel lovey-dovey and chemistry, are you just going to say, cha, I'm done? Or are you going to try and work at it, work together, and still do your duty? Still do your duty, not only to your spouse, but to God, because we made vows at the marriage altar. So even after reading this, I had to think, wow, I feel more compassion for people who have been through divorce, because you have to think how many people got married with the hopes and dreams that this was going to work out, and think of the pain of divorce. Divorce is like a death. That's what someone said to me anyway, who's been through it. It's like a death. Like they knew it was happening, but when they saw the papers come through, it's like a death. People mourn. So we should definitely show more compassion for people who feel like, wow, this is such a druggery. I don't want to be in it. You know, like, yes, as a believer, I have certain views on divorce. I do believe that the only reason is cheating, and even then you maybe can work and forgive. Someone's going to say, what about abuse, Shala? In terms of abuse, I haven't seen anywhere in scripture that says if your husband is abusing you to leave. But what I would say out of wisdom is, if somebody thinks that you're a punching bag, move away from the situation with family or friend or a shelter or something. Report them to the police, whatever it is. I know it's easier said than done, and abuse is so complex and nuanced and all of these things. This is just a short video, guys. Don't hate me. I'm just trying to put as much in as possible. But that's what I would say, you know, like, remove yourself from that situation if you're being abused, to a man or to a woman. All right. Weigh every sentiment and watch every development of character in the one whom you think to link your life destiny. The step you are about to take is one of the most important in your life and should be taken hastily. While you may love, do not love blindly. So we see there, love is not blind. Love is not blind. I know we have the show, and Eve made her song with that little basic beat years ago. Love is blind and it will take over your mind. What you think of love is really not. No, love is not blind. On the little basic beat. Listen, if you type in love is blind, Eve, you see what I mean? Sorry, listen, I might take someone back to BC days, before Christ days. But yeah, I'm hating, but it's kind of a tune, but the beat's basic. All right, but anyway, listen, that's not the focus of the video. All right, so listen to this really quick before this video gets too long. Qualities to be sought in a prospective wife. So you see, this chapter is really good if you're considering marriage. And if you are married, this chapter is good for looking within and saying, okay, what character traits do I have? What do I need to work on? So let's go through this quickly. Fitted to bear. So qualities to be sought in a prospective wife. Fitted to bear her share of life's burdens, a positive influence on the man, prudent, trustworthy, wise, does good works, kind, runs a home well, not idle, good reputation, economist, patient, cares for parents. And in this context, she was talking about in-laws. Qualities to be sought in a prospective husband. What is his past? Is his life pure? Does he have a noble, elevated character? Does he have traits that make you happy? Thank you. When I read this, yes, because happiness is important. Happiness, how you feel day to day, is important. Yes, Jesus gives us joy, but happiness, oh happiness, is important. Feelings are important. Do the things, do productive things that make you happy every day. I recognize if I wake up and spend time with God, if I exercise, the day's going to go sweeter. If I do other things that make me happy, the day is going to be sweeter. So think of it that way, right? Not just frivolous things of happiness, but productive things that are building your character. All right, qualities to be sought in a prospective husband. Peace and joy in his affection. Will you be allowed to preserve your individuality? Is he controlling? Will your purity be preserved? What is he like with his mother? Is he patient? Is he critical, overbearing, and dictatorial? Diligent, aspiring, honest, fears and loves God, shuns irreverence, no profane language, no addictions. So this chapter, the great decision, boy, it is such a great decision. I'm telling you. And if you're not married, then this is a good reading to remind you, do you know what? Ooh, I was just about to pick someone because I felt lonely. But actually, you know, looking at this list, maybe, just maybe, I'll wait a few months. I don't know. Wait a while before you make that decision. Because as I said, a lot of time people are feeling chemistry. A lot of times people get married because of the chemistry, because of loneliness and whatever. And then you get married and you realize, oh wow, like this is real life. So even when this person's annoying me, I still got to be here, like dealing with it. Like, yeah, this is unconditional love, isn't it? Unconditional love. It's deep. It's deep. All right then, ladies. So the great decision, leave a comment and remember to like and subscribe. All right then, ladies. Bye.